Welcome to the Cat Conversation, a show that is entertaining, educating, and empowering cat people. I'm KJ, your kitty correspondent. I hope you enjoy the show. And if you do, remember to rate, review, and subscribe. How you doing? It is KJ, your kitty correspondent. I'm so excited we're live. This is, something we've been trying to do for a while now with the Cat Conversation. And if you've been to some of our live events at the Smitten Kitten Cat Cafe, thank you. The more that we are talking about cats, the more we're understanding cats and the more that we are helping them. Now, if you were with us for the episode last month, it was a pretty heavy episode. It was wonderful. It was inspiring. And it is posted now. It is our guide for grieving pet lovers. And, we did record it at the Smitten Kitten Cat Cafe. And I was amazed at the amount of cat lovers who came forward, shared stories, shared how vulnerable it is to lose a pet. So I hope that that is not a resource that you need anytime soon, but please know that that episode is available now on YouTube and in all of the podcast places. So if you do need to know that you are not alone and that we do understand how difficult it is to lose one of your furry friends, we do have that episode available to you, and I hope it will bring you as much comfort as it brought me. We are switching gears today to bring you a fun show about cats. We talk a lot about cat behavior, and a lot of times when those two words come up together, it's like, oh no, what's the cat doing? Well, most of what our cats do is pretty fun, pretty entertaining, and we love them. And that's why we keep them around. So I am very excited today to bring back a special guest to the show, Dr. Rachel Geller. Welcome back to the Cat Conversation.
Pleased to be here and ready to answer all of those burning cat behavior questions.
Isn't it, so true that these days, while we're understanding cats better, so we can help with the unwanted behaviors, that when cat behavior comes up, we automatically kind of think like, oh no, what are they doing wrong? And that's not who they are, right?
Right. It's so true. I mean, we automatically assume that the cat is misbehaving on purpose or doing something out of spite or revenge. But the fact of the matter is, cats do not think about right and wrong the way we humans do. They think in terms of meeting their needs and solving their problems. So what looks like to us as misbehavior is really a cat's logical and rational response, solving a problem in her environment as a cat. And that's the important part to remember. She's solving her problem as a cat.
Now, if you have any questions, please let us know. We are going to, try to stick to the funny and fun behaviors today, but we are happy to be a resource to you. Thanks to everybody who is joining in KJ's Cat Club right now. We got some great questions, Rachel, from our members there in the club. But before we get into the Q&A that we are going to do today, we may have some people that are new to you, and I would love to just kind of give you a chance to introduce yourself and share how you got to this point where you really are such an amazing wealth of knowledge as a cat behavioralist.
Well, thank you, KJ. So I am a certified cat behavior and retention specialist. So what that means is not only do I focus on cat behavior, but I focus on what's called surrender prevention, how to keep that cat in the home if a person is thinking of surrendering her cat because the cat has behavior problems. So I really focus on solving behavior problems, keeping cats out of shelters, and helping shelters that may have cats who present with certain behaviors or have behavior problems, helping shelter staff and volunteers solve those problems as well so the cat can be adopted. So, how did I get started on this journey? Well, I was this little girl growing up in Auburn, Maine, and I would take a walk around the block in my neighborhood. And somehow I always found an endless parade of cats who really needed me and who somehow made their way into my home. But, I grew up with a lot of cats and learned a lot of lessons around responsibility and being a good caretaker, being, learning about good stewardship of the cat's needs. And as I got older and I got more involved, I've sat in a lot of animal welfare boards and cat shelter boards. But I really decided to go all cats all the time, and that is the name of my nonprofit, which focuses on removing financial barriers that people may be presented with when they're trying to solve cat behavior problems for their cat. So I provide all of my cat behavior counseling completely free of charge. And I also, sometimes people need more than advice. They need stuff. They need the cat paraphernalia. They need a medical assist. And through my foundation, I'm able to provide that as well. And I always accept as many invitations as I can to be on this type of a show. So thank you, KJ, because there's another avenue for me to get out the word and help people completely free of charge.
And I appreciate that you point out, because I think it's, oftentimes, we're not alienating dog people. I love dogs, and I think you do too. And especially anytime we're doing shelter work, it all comes together. There
Yes.
just seems to really be a need for us to understand cats. And when we understand them better, we're happier, they're happier, and they stay in their homes. We get more cats adopted, and that's good for everybody. Cats,
Yes.
dogs, people, right?
Yes, that is so good for everybody. And truth be told, I think most people are aware of dog trainers. Most people are aware that dog problems can be solved. There's so much more out there around, dog trainers and dog welfare. And, cat behavior is kind of a burgeoning more new up and coming, field. So, and many people have both cats and dogs. So yes, when we help a cat, we're also always helping a family, other pets, and so forth. So yes, it's a win-win all the way around.
And it's why we're here, and it's why I named the show The Cat Conversation, because you're right. Like there is this. We have some ideas about cats that aren't necessarily true anymore. We've learned more about them. There is training that you can do. I have several cats that do high fives and dance around and do behavior things that we have taught them. Like this is something you're going to get rewarded for. So uh, you know, kind of having that old school thought that, a cat's just a cat is not true anymore. So we are changing the conversation. And today I want to get into these questions because y'all brought great questions today. Keep up in the comments if something comes up that as we're talking about a cat behavior and you're like, oh my gosh, my cat does that, or my cat does this. We want to include you as much as we can in the cat conversation. We're going to start out, Dr. Rachel Geller. I am going to challenge you with something that has been discussed many times in the cat club. We have our cat Grayson, who is very well known. He does stories with me on Pet Pals TV. As we are recording this, he's 7 days into recovering from surgery, and he is doing very well. And the little lump that needed to come out doesn't seem to have been any big deal. It just needed to go. So we're very happy. One of the things we were concerned about going into this surgery, which was such a weird thing to be worried about, is that his sister Amelia, who is she was just an itty bitty baby when we got her. I don't think she was even 2 pounds yet. And she wasn't, because we had to take her to get spayed when she made it to 2 pounds. Instantly imprinted on him. And I have a video to show you. She's 6 years old now, and she is still doing this. But she started suckling on his ear. So this is I mean, she is a full grown cat now, but as you can see, she needs his head and she has one particular ear. Like if his head turns and he offers the other ear, she doesn't want it. She wants this ear. And so, when we were going into his surgery, I really, was concerned like, how are we going to keep her away from his face and away from his ear? And I'm explaining this to the doctor that was doing the surgery was a new doctor. So I'm explaining this to her. And I'm like, so like my other cat suckles his ear. And she was like, that's a new one. So over to you. What is that behavior? Is that something you have come across before? And can you explain it?
I I have come across this before. So these behaviors that, the average cat parent thinks are really strange. In my world, this is actually kind of common.
Okay.
So first and foremost, absolutely nothing to worry about. So
Okay.
cats suckle each other, they groom each other. It's a way, to mimic contentment. Kind of think about the good old days when they did that with their mom. So, think about us if we decide we want to like be under a blanket and eat like a bowl of macaroni and cheese or comfort food or something, right? It brings back those lovely feelings of childhood when you were loved and you were cared for, and it feels kind of good. It's the same thing. So the cat is suckling because it reminds her of, being cared for, being loved, being nurtured. It releases all of those feel good endorphins and chemicals in her brain. And, they do people call it making biscuits. They
Mhm.
need the same reason, kittens need to express the milk from their mom cat. So these are just all like really wonderful feelings, all mixed with love and nurturing. And so it's a sign that these cats really trust each other. They love each other. The cat who's doing the suckling is choosing the other cat to show, utmost care and trust and love. So these are all very good things. As long as the other cat doesn't mind, and as long as the other cat isn't getting like red and raw or sore, it's really nothing to worry about. I mean, it's certainly very cute, it's very endearing, and it is completely normal behavior. It would be akin to us kind of like going down that nostalgic road and, kind of having those nice feelings.
Okay. Yeah, it is interesting. She picked his ear that was tipped during his surgery, and so it's already there's like a little callus there. So I don't think he minds it as much because he probably doesn't have as much feeling right there. But she goes for the other ear, and he's like, "Absolutely not. You've crossed the line."
That's so funny. And a lot of it's habit too. They start off with one ear or one place or one paw, whatever it might be with your cat, and then that becomes the habit. So cats are creatures of positive associations. They love predictability. They hate change. So often, once a cat, starts a habit, it's going to kind of pretty much stay that way.
And I'm very happy to report 7 days, out of surgery, Amelia did not, go near his face at all,
Very nice.
and she actually yesterday was the first time that they cuddled, and she actually laid so her head was, on the opposite side, so it was closer to his bum, so they were laying opposite. Those are the things where I'm like, you know, they're so intuitive. They're so smart.
Yes.
We were so worried about how are we going to keep her away from his ear. She just knew. She knew how to take care of him. She knew what he needed, and now they're, slowly making their way back to each other. And hopefully in another week, the suckling will be able to continue.
It's lovely to see, really, isn't it? When the way they
Yes,
understand each other, it really is nice. So I'm glad all that worrying was for naught, and
yes.
I'm very happy that everything worked out.
All right. First question from KJ's Cat Club. Leanne says, my 5-month-old kitten drools a lot when she shows affection. By the time she's done loving and cuddling, her face is all wet and there's drool all over me. What on earth?
Okay, this is actually a pretty common cat behavior. So this is exactly what happens. And again, it's a good thing. So some cats, when they get so happy, they actually forget to swallow. Like they just get into this Zen state. They are so happy. They are so relaxed that literally they just completely forget to swallow, and so they begin to drool. So it's completely, again, this is a normal behavior. It doesn't mean anything is wrong. She's not choking or having some type of, bad experience.
Mhm.
She's getting so relaxed and so like on another plane that she forgets about things like swallowing. So it just means that she's really getting, immersed in your love and the affection between the two of you. So, although it might be a little wet and perhaps messy, enjoy it because it is a lovely sign of love, affection, and trust. I mean, if you can imagine how much your cat trusts you to just let go like that.
That's
So
amazing. I did it. I've had cats that did that. But I didn't realize that the actual, like, what's actually happening is they're forgetting to swallow.
yes, I would have a cat just sit on my lap and drooling away, and whatever I was wearing, I obviously had to change my clothes. Sometimes if I saw her coming, because she did it so often, I would actually
Mhm.
have a table. She did this so often that I would have a towel next to my desk, so I'd grab that and put it on my lap.
Yeah, I still have that. Melody will do this, my calico. And the first night we got her home, I was wearing this Avengers hoodie because I'm a huge nerd if you can't tell. And it was this like collectible. It's like one of my favorite hoodies that it didn't make it anymore. And she grabbed onto it and started, suckling on it. And there was drool everywhere. And I overnighted from Amazon a blanket of the same material because I was like, this is the most adorable thing, but you cannot do this to my Avengers hoodie.
You have to draw the line somewhere.
So, here we are, and it's been 6 years, and she now has like her favorite blanket. It's just like a little child, right? It's
Yes,
bringing her comfort, and it's disgusting every time she gets done, but she's happy.
it really is sweet. Yes.
Susan says Pepper has the funniest meows when he's hunting cat toys. He is extremely serious about stalking his quote unquote prey and waits for me to call out to him, then delivers his catch to me for praise. Is that normal?
I love this because a lot of people don't realize, and I wish more people sort of communicated with their cat the way Susan is with Pepper. So allow me to explain what I mean here. So cats don't meow to each other to have conversations. So Fluffy isn't going to go over to Puffy and say, hey, meow, meow, meow. And then Puffy's not going to respond and say, yeah, meow, meow, meow. So cats use their meows for the most part to communicate with us. Cats mainly meow to their humans. And in addition to that, they will modify the volume of their meows, the tone, the length of their meows, um, when they get the response that they want. So
Mhm.
most cat owners will tell you, we know the hungry meow, we know the I want to play meow, we know the I've had enough meow, and so forth. So they will modify and change their meows when they realize that we've come to understand what it is they're trying to tell us. So it really is quite fascinating. So if you're playing with your cat and they've used a meow that you've responded to in a way that they like and that they enjoy, they will now use that same meow every time that you play together. And people who respond back or talk with their cats, your cat will have a conversation with you. And now you don't have to sit there and meow. But if your cat meows and you like wait a beat and you say whatever, you're such a good boy or you're such a cute
Mhm.
cat, and then they'll meow again, wait a beat, say something else. You will have a back and forth. You will have a quote unquote conversation. So yes, they will sort of modify what they do, respond. They like to have fun, and as I said, cats love routine. Cats love predictability. Cats love schedule. So Susan has developed this routine with her cat Pepper, and because cats love routine so much, this is really working very, very well for Pepper, which also I'm sure is making Susan happy as well.
So a cat, that's out in the wild, when they've caught their prey, they're not walking down the streets howling, letting everybody know that they got their prey, right?
Usually the opposite. They don't want to attract a predator. They don't want somebody else to come in and swoop the prey. So yes, a cat in the wild will be the opposite. They want to be stealth. They don't want to attract attention when there's food around, because that could be dangerous for that cat. But yes, domesticated cats indoors will very much, develop their own little rituals, right? And I mean, I bet now that we're talking about this, people are listening, they're thinking about all the little routines they have with their cat, whether it's I wake up in the morning and my cat does this, or once I go over here, my cat does this. Um,
Yeah.
I have a large walk-in closet, and as soon as I open the door, I have one cat that he loves the closet. He'll dash in as soon as he can, and we'll have like a little routine there in the closet. He'll help me pick out my outfit and so forth. So, you know,
Aw.
anyway, that's the way I interpret it. He's a fashionista, just
I
like that.
love it.
So
How many cats do you have?
I have two cats.
Okay. And
Yes.
one wants to help you get ready in the morning.
Yeah, and I think he does a pretty good job.
I think I mean, he picked out great outfit. The hair looks great.
Outfit, yes. Yeah, but they really do, once they put together sort of like a routine or a schedule, they enjoy adhering to that routine and that schedule and having that predictability. They find comfort in that.
All right. I knew this one was going to come up. And by the way, feel free to chime in here. Dan says, first time cat owner here. Why does my cat climb on me and stick her bottom in my face?
Okay, well, first of all, this is not a message that she doesn't like you in any way. Again, these are all shows of affection and love. And so there could be a lot of different reasons for that. One reason might be that your cat wants to look the other way to make sure that she's keeping you all to herself. So she places herself on her lap. She's looking out, especially if I think he said it was a new cat owner.
Yeah.
So we're still sort of getting into that routine, getting to know each other. Cats, always like to be on the lookout for, opponents or predators or invaders, especially if they are in a new environment. So that could be a big part of it too. And these opponents can be real or imagined. So, the cat is getting to know you. The cat wants to make sure she has her territory, but your cat doesn't think about her rear end, the way we do. It's just part of her anatomy. But there are, scent glands in their rear end. So sometimes that's a way to deposit. They have scent glands along their chin. They have scent glands in their paw pads, and they also have scent glands back there. So, sometimes they're just kind of depositing their friendly deposits as well. It's nothing to worry about. One of my cats is a fluffy Maine Coon, and I think she has a very, very cute rear view. So just enjoy it. But it means nothing bad. It's a completely normal cat behavior. Go ahead and pet her. Some cats I do feel more comfortable kind of facing out than facing in. When they're facing in, as I said, they can't really see any approaching invaders or opponents into their area. So they're just kind of making sure they have that clear visual field as they're, getting comfortable with you. Yeah.
I remember, similar to you, it's just I've had cats my whole life, and so there's just all these teaching moments where you go, oh, that's why you're doing that. And I wrote about that in my book. I had a Norwegian forest cat, same thing. I thought her little behind was super cute, and but she was so friendly and outgoing. She was daddy's girl, and she loved when people came over, and she'd do this little floppy thing for everyone, and she did none of that for me. She would, when I would get in bed at night, she would sit at the end of the bed, and like you said, she'd put her butt to me, and I was starting to get like offended, like, what did I do? Why is this cat like the only thing she wants to do with me is like for me to go to bed so she can stick her butt in my face. And if I touch her, she runs away. And I started reading up on Norwegian forest cats, and they typically choose one person to protect. And as I started paying attention to her behavior, I was like, oh my gosh, she can't relax until I sleep because she's got to watch the door and make sure I'm okay. And she's
Yes.
like, go to sleep. I'll keep you safe. And I'm over here going, why do you hate me? And she's actually like, I'm the one she's choosing. I
Yes,
just,
she's protecting you. She's protecting the environment. There are cats who are what we call owner centered, who kind of choose
Mhm.
like their person. But cats really do. They want to monitor their territory, let other cats or other animals who might be out there know that they're there to stand their ground. And again, these can be real or imagined. So, she's just keeping the territory safe. She's protecting herself. She's protecting you. She's going to make sure there aren't any invaders, and that's all a good thing. That's people pay top dollar for that.
Absolutely. This is the cat conversation. I've got Dr. Rachel Geller here with me, and we are answering your questions about the funniest cat behaviors. Kara wants to know, will we ever understand why cats knock our cups off of tables?
We will, and I think the main reason I see cats do this is they're not getting enough what I call interactive play. So you might
Okay.
be playing with your cat. You probably are. A lot of people play with their cat with the wand toys. They toss some solo toys. They might have some other of those automatic things that are going on. But here's the thing. When you're playing with your cat, you need to give your cat a chance to feel something tangible and real between her paws or between her teeth. And if she's not getting that, these are the cats who then engage in behaviors that we humans will call destructive. But
Mhm.
again, your cat has a need to capture things and feel these things between her paws and between her teeth. So she's not being destructive. She's trying to meet a need that she has and solve her problem. So most people can solve this problem very simply by switching up the way they play. So get out that fishing pole type toy, and I really want you to mimic prey. So don't just move the toy back and forth in a predictable pattern. That's not realistic. Don't take the toy and go up to your cat's face and wave it wildly about in the cat's face. That's not realistic either. There is no prey that's going to fly right into your cat's face. Rather, mimic prey. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you slither around something, sometimes you scurry about and hide, sometimes you stop moving at all because you're playing dead to trick the cat, or perhaps the prey has lost stamina. So really mimic prey. And during the session, so many people think the whole idea is how long I can keep this toy away from the cat, get the cat to keep chasing it. But really, the whole idea of play is how many captures the cat can get, how rewarding and satisfying it is for the cat. So during the session, make sure there are many opportunities where the cat can actually get that toy between her paws or between her teeth, and stop moving the toy. And when the cat realizes the toy is no longer moving, she'll relax her grip a little bit, and then you can resume the game. So do this a few times during the session. And when you're ready for the game to end, the play session to end, don't just say, oh, we've been playing for about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, game over, goodbye. No, what we want to do again is really simulate that hunt. We want to mimic prey. So wind the game down slowly. The prey is getting tired. The prey has gotten injured. The prey dies. And let your cat have that one last final juicy capture. Let her hold onto that toy with her paws. Let her sink her claws into it. Let her sink her teeth into it. And then immediately follow this with a small treat, a small portion of a regular meal, something yummy that your cat will enjoy. Because what your cat wants to do is eat her caught and killed prey. The whole point of the hunt is to eat what you captured. And when you do this, you now put your cat into her natural hunt, eat, sleep cycle. And cats who go through this hunting sequence, and cats who feel that very positive feeling of that, tangible catch between their paws and between their teeth. These are cats who aren't going to, for their own fun, have to knock something off your table and go chase it and pretend to catch the prey. She's getting that real hunting sequence and stimulation in her life in other ways.
And while we're talking about this, because it is that you're talking about that tangible thing, is there, very rarely do we mess around with the laser light here. I know people, love it and it's funny, and we did have to for a little time when Buffy, our youngest kittens, Giles and Buffy, she chewed on something and actually like played a tug of war and lost, and her entire lower gum line was detached. And so they literally had to stitch it back together, and she was 12 weeks old at the time. And so to like help her get energy out, we would, because she couldn't play with anything, we did do some like electronic games. And I was like, oh, as much as I don't want to get the red dot out, I think we need the red dot for a week. Is the What are your thoughts on that? Is there a way to even do that, or is that just a like, please don't get the red dot out around your kitty cats?
Yeah, I have very, very strong feelings on this
Okay.
topic, but I'm gonna get on my soapbox and here I go. So,
Okay.
right, the laser pointer is an unwinnable game for your cat. Think of it from your cat's perspective. She sees this little red dot. Certain of a sure cat, she gets it into her eyes. She has it. She stalks it. She pounces, and there is nothing there. There's nothing between her teeth. There's nothing between her paws. Not only is a cat really frustrated, but she's going to begin to wonder why none of her great hunting techniques are working anymore. And this could actually cause a lot of depression or aggression, because if she never gets to bite into that tangible capture, she might try to seek that feeling in other places. And these are cats who will chase a person's ankles or, bite when you move and so forth. But the laser pointer really is a source of constant frustration because she can see the dot, she can chase the dot, but she can never, ever, ever capture that dot. So I advise people to toss their laser pointers if they have one. These were developed for PowerPoint presentations in the office, and really that's where they should stay. They're not a cat toy. They do not provide the simulation of a hunt. It is a game where your cat can never be a successful hunter. She can never win the game. She can never get the dot. So I really do advise people to toss those laser pointers, get out the fishing pole type toy, and really play with your game and play with your cat in a way that simulates a hunt and leaves her happy, satisfied, confident, queen of her territory, king of his castle. I'm catching my prey. I'm monitoring my territory. And, all of those captures, tangible captures, every time this happens, feel good chemicals and endorphins are released. And these chemicals and endorphins, these positive feelings, they're associated with you, because when you play with your cat and you're at the helm, you're part of this whole experience.
I love that. And I love that so much of this really is, it is based in their nature. It's science, it's who they are, it's what they are as sentient beings. And so understanding that just it changes everything about how you see them,
Yes.
because we have chosen to put them under a roof with four walls and keep them from all the natural things that they are doing. So it becomes this understanding. I have a responsibility to make sure that you are not a frustrated being because I tried to give you a home. Like, that's
Right.
not what we wanted to do.
No, we do not want to create more problems than we help, that's for sure. And yes, as you said, it's very important for people to realize that cats are natural born hunters. They need to have that need met, and they need to have that needs satisfied. So cats who do not receive, that ability to have a capture, eat their capture, feel their capture, again, that whole physical and tangible capture, they will seek to solve that problem another way. So again, this is a cat who might knock stuff off, the cups off the table, the pictures off the shelf, your ankles. If the only stimulation and ability for your cat to sink his teeth into something is your ankles as you walk by, well, that's what's going to happen. So we really need to understand our cat's needs. Often these cats are not aggressive at all. They're not destructive. They have an unmet need. And again, your cat is solving the problem as a cat.
I love every chance I get to have a conversation with you. Dr. Rachel Geller, thank you so much for being here again. Can you just let everybody know how they can find you and follow along? And yeah, I know you've got a book on the way and all kinds of exciting stuff going on.
Oh my goodness, so much going on. So you can check out everything I do at drrachelcatbehavior.com. And on my website, I also have all of my socials, so you can sign up and follow along. I try to be pretty good about it and, post what's going on. And yes, I have my second book on the way. My first book, Saving the World One Cat at a Time, is available on Amazon. And I donate 100% of the profits, 100% to cats, whether it's to cat shelters, as grants, to individual cat owners who can't afford something that they might need to be able to keep their cats. So not only I think is it a great read and you'll enjoy it, but you're helping other people and you're helping other cats.
That is really amazing. And I did have a question that came in from a clubber that I wasn't able to get pulled up. She wanted to know if you do consultations, and if you do, if you do them online for anybody in the country. I know that we're over here in Indianapolis, so that's where most of my cat people are.
Yeah, yes, I will jump on a Zoom and I do cat behavior consults all over the world. I recently just did a conference in Hong Kong. I did a seminar in Singapore. I've done work in Israel. I've done work in where else recently? China, Italy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm
amazing.
To, once I figure out the time difference, get on Zoom and help people virtually, via phone, via email, whatever works.
All right. This has been the Cat Conversation. I feel like we didn't even touch on all of the funny cat behaviors we could have talked about today. So I feel like there's at least one more episode coming. This might be a regular thing if you're up for it.
I must come back. Yes.
All right. If you enjoyed the show today, please make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And we'd love to have you in our Facebook group. It's free to join. Just look for KJ's Cat Club on Facebook, and we will see you again soon for another episode of the Cat Conversation. Thanks for joining me for the Cat Conversation, powered by Storms and Melodies Calming Remedies. You can shop stormsandmelodies.com, where you can also get my book, Raised by Cats, Behind the Mic and the Meows. Subscribe so you can keep up with the Cat Conversation, and follow my YouTube channel for the positive vibes of pop culture, people to know, and pets. Go to youtube.com/KJ today.